What's up, everyone? This is Dr. Issiah Thomas here on Gigaset Radio. We're ready to get this podcast rolling, to drop some nuggets of knowledge on you, just to kind of keep you in the loop of what's happening in the DFW.
What you see now on the internet? No, I was listening to Gigaset. Oh, I be listening to every show, keeping me all in the know on Gigaset Radio. What you see now on the internet? No, I was listening to Gigaset. Oh, I be listening to every show, keeping me all in the know on Gigaset Radio.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Gigaset Radio. We are here at the Business Lounge, Dallas. Y'all make some noise. We have another guest today, someone that's actually really special to me. Y'all make some noise for Dr. Issiah Thomas. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Been trying to get your ass on here a long ass time.
All right, well, guess what? I'm here.
Yeah, you here.
So
you
let's
here.
do it.
So let's talk about you. This is a conversation, as I tell all my guests, before, during, and after the show. It's a conversation because we want you just to explain to us like who you're about, what you stand for, and what you want, what little nuggets of gems you want to drop to other individuals that are listening to this podcast currently. So let's start with you. So who is Issiah Thomas? Doctor. And when I get doctor behind my name, I want everybody to say, I want even McDonald's.
Right.
Somebody at McDonald's or Burger King say, Dr. Turner, your order is ready? Yes, it is. Go ahead. Tell us about yourself.
Man, so basically, I'm just in the entrepreneur space right now. Currently, the founder of Networking Nights. I'm excited to be a part of because March 8th will be 5 years of existence.
Okay, 5 years.
So to be able to survive 5 years, especially with the pandemic in place, I'm really super excited to see what's the next chapter for us.
Yeah, so several things here because I personally know you. And I know that you are just like myself, a man with many hats, and you do so many things. And but before we get into that, we got a little accent here. So can you tell us where you're from?
Originally from Connecticut. By the way, my father's side from the Bahamas, my mother's side from Puerto Rico. So just enjoy the Caribbean roots and just loving on it.
Okay. Speaking to the mic first. You can just scoot up a little bit. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. All right, I got you.
All right. So I don't even know where to start because you just do so many things. Like you just be outside just doing stuff, inside doing stuff. Your head. When I say, I'm gonna tell y'all, like he has so many hats that he wears. Like if I were to list everything that he does, on season, off season, it could be crawfish, it could be anything. It'll literally go beyond the towels, the drop ceiling that's currently above us. So we're just gonna start off simple, and then we're gonna ramp them up. How's that?
All right, that's what's up. We can deal with that. We can start low and go high.
So you mentioned an organization in your introduction about it being Networking Nights. Let's learn a little bit. Well, tell us a little bit about that organization and what it stands for. And like how it was founded.
All right, well, just kind of leading into how I got into the organization, the nonprofit sector. First of all, my undergraduate is in animal science pre-veterinary medicine from Prairie View A&M University. Second, I have a master's degree in organizational management from the University of Phoenix. Shout out to Arizona.
Shout out to them.
And next we have my PhD in adult education through Capella University. So shout out to Minnesota. Then next of all, I taught for 17 years with Dallas ISD. So I taught, the last 9 years was in first grade, which I really appreciate because it helped me understand how the mind works as you matriculate through your age.
Yes.
Because there's a thing called the fixed mindset and the growth mindset, and all of those are identified in the first grade. So how you behaved in the first grade will matriculate all through your adult life. With the fixed mindset or the growth mindset is the students that were willing to accept the challenge, take on any extra credit work or any challenge that I presented to them. The fixed mindset students were the ones that always complain, oh, why we got to do this, Dr. Thomas, or this is too hard, this is, all those kind of things. So being out here in the nonprofit sector, it allowed me the opportunity understand individuals with those different capacities of fixed and growth mindset. Starting the organization Network and Nice with the K. When you think of the night piece is the only piece that can strategically move outside of the other pieces on the chess game. So when you think about overcoming challenges, obstacles, setbacks, COVID was one of those things to where we had to pivot back and understand how do we move forward. When you think of the knights from the Renaissance period, the knight was the protector of the kingdom, show empathy towards the people, servant leadership, and that's one of the things that we do within the community. And second of all, from a spiritual aspect, as far as the knight, I feel as if God is holding us accountable for helping others discover their seeds of greatness, because everything that God created, it starts with the seed, and the seed bears the greatness. So I feel like we all have greatness, but sometimes just have to be tapped into in different ways.
It's always amazing when he gives that spiel. He goes, like, literally all the events that he goes to, he has literally the same pitch, the same spiel, like how he says it so quickly and just like it's confidently. And I think that's amazing. So you mentioned COVID in your spiel earlier about, just being able to pivot and do all those things. How has COVID affected you? Because I know that you had a time with COVID.
Man, say.
That girl, she came in with her wig, and she slapped you a couple times with that wig. So how did COVID affect you, and how did you grow from that?
The pandemic really taught me a lot about myself. Number one, the value that I bring to the table after COVID is resilience. Just being able to figure out a way how to bounce back and be able to still maneuver and just kind of move through things was one of the lessons that I learned through COVID, because I had lost both of my jobs at the same time, as well as my janitorial service that I had launched 12 years ago. So with COVID, I did lose my job at the American Airlines Center as an assistant manager for Lexus Platinum. And then shortly thereafter, I lost my job with UT Southwestern in health surveys and HIV testing. Mm-hmm. So all of those were just like disseminated just like out of nowhere. And just as I was calling all my lead supervisors through my janitorial service, creative cleaning, as I was getting all the keys back, everyone's questioning, why do you have to have the keys back, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I'm looking out for myself, like, okay, this would be my income until we figure out what's going on with COVID. But shortly thereafter, everyone began to cancel their contracts. So I'm back to square one. So COVID just taught me how to just humble myself and do the least of these types of jobs, whether it's washing dishes at UTA, in their cafeteria, or if it's, if it boiled down to me wiping shelves at Walmart. Everything taught me a lesson about how to be humble and just respect the space that you're in. And with that, it came other opportunities that God just awarded me because he saw my faithfulness and my humility.
Yes. And so, and that's amazing, by the way. Mm-hmm. You mentioned something about being humble. How important as an entrepreneur is it to have that mindset moving into any endeavor that you take on, being humble? Like, you've seen people that were not so humble.
Absolutely.
And, seeing where you are, and they may be in a different place, higher up than you, but like the quality of interactions with people is what you realistically, like, you prefer. So how important is it to be humble in the line of entrepreneurship?
Just in life general, the spirit of humility is definitely something that you would want to have and embrace, because it shows not only society, but it shows the ultimate being that you're willing to go to the bottom and just be raised back up. Humility also just shows the sign that you are willing to give more of yourself to anyone in any position. And I feel that that is a very important characteristics as an entrepreneur that you should be able to have, because oftentimes we don't want to submit ourselves to someone else that we think that we're better than,
right,
or in the same line of business. But at the same time, humility does pay off, because it just builds more of an organic and authentic relationship, because people get to see that no matter what the job is, you're willing to do it. Simply because you're willing to support them, and at the same time, you're willing to just be in place just to help them shine in the light that they're in.
Right.
So So that's one of the things that I embrace, humility, being very intentional and strategic on how I move and how I create relationships with different individuals such as yourself.
And we'll get into how me and Zay met here in a second.
That's what you
Being
want to hear.
strategic about, yeah. So we talked about your COVID scare, essentially. And Zay is a very healthy person. Just let's talk about your health regimen, like how how your regimen changed from before COVID, right, and then during and afterwards. Like, what does that look like now? Because as an entrepreneur, we have to be sound across the board. We have to be healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, emotionally, etc. Everything. So, like, how did that change your approach as far as health once you had that COVID scare?
Well, to be transparent, back in '98, while I was pledging Phi Beta Sigma at Prairie View A&M University, I discovered that I had a condition called ulcerative colitis, which allows my immune system to be compromised and actually a candidate for prostate cancer, colon cancer, and that sort of thing. Back in 2019, I noticed that there was something in the fall of 2019. I noticed there was something different happening with my body. I started just feeling just out of the norm, and I had stopped all my regimens because for those of you that follow Dr. Sebi's regimens as far as the holistic medicines, I had dropped off of that. And when they didn't even know what COVID was back in fall of 2019, I feel as if I had that because I ended up going to the hospital, and the day that I went to the emergency room, they said that it was a blessing that I came in because if I would have stayed home, my blood would have become toxic because of the virus, and I would have died. So they shared with me that they was going to have to shut down my kidneys and all this kind of weird stuff. And so after I overcame that, being in the hospital, UT Arlington, after a couple of days, my body bounced back, and then I just, found myself getting back onto a natural, holistic regimen, which allowed me to clear out the mucus out of my system and be able to just pretty much live a more of a healthy lifestyle because I wasn't taking in so much of the internal medicines that the doctors were prescribing, but more so of the holistic, natural medicines as far as, boiling the fruits, creating a tea that really just helps break down and creates what do you call it?
Anybody's
a defense mechanism towards the virus or any type of ailments that may come through the elements of the environment that you're living in.
Okay. All right. So so mental health, y'all, is important. Physical health is important, especially when you're out here between gigs. You're trying to find your way as an entrepreneur. Like, you have to be, like I was saying earlier, mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically sound. And if you don't have those things, you literally could be missing out on any type of blessing that may come your way. Because,
Absolutely.
Yeah, just in general, and I can definitely attest to that as a full-time entrepreneur. Now let's talk about for a second how we met. Speaking of full-time entrepreneurship,
Speaking.
Accepting blessings, how they come in different regions in which they come, and so I'll start off on my side, and I'm gonna let Dr. Issiah Thomas finish the story. So on my side, I was starting an organization, or not started. I had already started an organization. I believe this was before COVID, right? Yeah. So this was. I was just trying to get out there more socially. I was starting to host more events, and I wanted to be able to connect with good people, right? And so I was having this conversation. This is before I even knew who Zay was and networking nights and what he did, et cetera. And so I was having a conversation with myself. And you know how Instagram and their algorithms like to pair people. Oh, you should know, pair people or organizations like, oh, you should know this person, you should follow this person, and whatever the case is. And so networking nights came up as one of the suggestions of people that I should, or organizations I should follow. And I said, oh, well, okay, let me just see what this page is giving, right? And so I went to the page and I saw what the organization, Issiah and his organization was doing, Networking Night, shout out to them. And so I said, okay, I don't know what it was. I didn't even know this person, but I know Isaiah at the time. I just reached out to him. And, I said, I think I made a comment on one of your posts or something like that, double tapped, commented, reached out to you via DM, and just said that, I like what you're doing or whatever the case was, want to learn more, whatever the case was. And generally, my response, or what I normally get from individuals that I feel that could be an influence to me, or individuals that I feel, individuals in my life, I feel like that person can be an influence for. And they would just kind of be cold. They'll offer, maybe not even say anything. It might be a robotic response, automated response, whatever the case is. And he answered in person. And, as an entrepreneur, a lot of times we man our own ship. As an organization, we'll be that spokesperson for our own social media because we don't have a team to manage our social media or anything Absolutely. Like that yet. So we'll wear that hat as well to fit into that theme of things. But he responded. It's just very warm and welcoming, and I wasn't used to that. And it's really sad to say that in our community, being in the African American community, just not always having those warm interactions
Absolutely.
from individuals that are we're all out here trying to do our thing, and we can literally make much more of a difference if we all stop trying to have the crab in the barrel effect and just instead of just trying to just lift each other up, instead of trying to tear each other down. And his response was so warming and moving. It really, I don't say coerced me, but it really connected me to his energy just by doing so. And so I'm going to give you the floor on that one. So I reached out to Isaiah. I told him, I really want to learn more about the organization, what you do. I was really excited, very proud to see someone like himself doing some things. And then he gave me the spiel on all that stuff. And then
here we are.
So
years later.
So we're going to claps for that. So here's my follow-up question after giving that story. What did you see in my interaction, my intention that allowed you to pursue a connection of sort with me, and knowing, given your years of experience in various industries, but just as an entrepreneur in general, just keep it there. What let you know that this was a genuine connection? This person really does want to learn from me and my organization, and vice versa. I can learn from him and the things that he do. What was the moment where you realized that this was actually legit?
Oh man, that's a packed question. What led me to realize that you were a wholesome, organic person is just, again, back to your response. Responding directly back to my DM kind of gave me the vibe that you were the person that you say you were. Oftentimes in the entrepreneur sector, we really don't find a lot of people who are willing to pour back into us.
Right.
And because I saw that in you, I was just willing to give back the opportunities that we have been given to bless somebody else with with the blessings that we have been given.
Right.
Because again, what good is it for me or the organization to have a full cup and we have somebody who has a half full cup and we can pour into them and bless them? And so I felt that was the opportunity for us to really just step up to the plate and just truly be community engaged, regardless of whatever your organization is. We saw an opportunity for us to be a blessing to you, an opportunity for us to connect, network together, and here we are today, just simply because I was willing to see you for you and not for just the influence or the social media status and that sort of thing, because oftentimes we get blindsided by all of that. And we lose the focus of who the real person or the transparent person really is.
Right. And so, seeing as though you're speaking from experience, and cheers to you, by the way. Mm-hmm. Again, coming on the show, shout out to JSR. We got Dr. Issiah Thomas in the house. Given the fact that you've been in as an entrepreneur for quite some time, let me rephrase that. how important is it for you to have those type of connections? Because you've had people that literally will say what they're gonna do something and they don't do it, and so I know that creates a level of frustration, and especially with you having a nonprofit, like you. Honestly, I feel like you have even more uphill battle because like you're not backed by a public entity or anything like that. Like you literally have to generate these dollars on your own. So like, how important is it to have these connections with people, like true connection with people, so that way you won't get burnt out trying to take over someone else's responsibility because they made a promise to you that they were going to do something. So how important is it to have these genuine connections with people?
One of the things that I really value is organic and authentic relationships. In the entrepreneur sector of the DFW ecosystem, it is very important that you develop those because a lot of time people say they will support you or say they will follow through on things, and oftentimes they really don't because they see you as a competitor. And oftentimes as African American men or males, we don't really support each other the way that we really should. And so having that opportunity to support you, back you, participate, just be engaged is one of the things that I saw an opportunity to really show you who we are and then to see how engaging you would be with us as an organization.
Right.
That's one of the things that I really find important as far as, navigating the DFW ecosystem of entrepreneurs, especially minority, blacks and brown. Just really finding out those people who are just influencers or who are those that are impactors. Because influence fades away, but impact lasts forever.
Nice.
And when you say the word impact, that's the word of a relationship, organic relationship, genuine relationships outside of business and outside of just even your personal. It just really supersedes everything as you just being a common, decent human being. And I've had my trials and my tests with those that were influencers here in Dallas, and then just trying to like connect with them, and then it was just like as if they saw themselves as being more than where we were as an organization or as an individual. So that's one of the things that I truly appreciate about our relationship is because it's organic, because you can call me and I can work for you. I can call you, you can say, hey, what do you need? Right. And so those relationships I feel are the ones that truly add value. Being able to be people focused is one of the things that I pride myself on, as well as being coaching centered, which help drives product the production of your business or whatever your business model is. And so first of all, just really being able to focus on who the person are or the persons, it really creates a vibrant relationships of equity,
Yeah, for sure. So, and that's all real shit, y'all. That's like literally like if Zay hit me up and said, "Hey Jay, I need this," like I got him. Like I will like put things to the side because I know the importance of having these type of relationships and how to nurture them and being able just to show up and be present. And that's like more important than anything. Like it's not even about the fiscal situation; it's just the financial, being able to like support people in that way. It's just showing them being present in numbers and spirit and just solidarity. And so
pouring into your brother.
Yes, pouring into your fellow brother, and brother being it could be a multitude of things of what that means, but like specifically in this case in the African American community, because we have that stigma of not being in a solidarity being present for one another, rather. And so, like, we want to break that stigma. I want to work with people, and I have worked with people that, in my circle, that, that it's not about the financial backing. It's about just being present when I need you, right? And so, like I said, y'all, Issiah has a multitude of hats of things that he has done. And I want you to speak on one of the top two, like, oddest jobs that you've taken on. Because again, he literally does everything.
Since leaving the educational scene, I have done everything from bartending to catering to janitorial work. To everything, and I have enjoyed everything because, again, as a youngster, or as a youth, I wasn't able to do some of those jobs, and just being able to be in a space to where uh, it humbles you to be able to appreciate those jobs. Because when I was washing dishes at UTA, I realized that position is very important, because without the dishwasher, there is no pots for the chef. With no pots for the chef, there is no food to cook for the customers or the students there. And so I realized that the least of these jobs are very important, and it allowed me time to just kind of meditate and just kind of self-discover myself.
Right.
Wiping shelves at Walmart was the most exciting moments, because that's when God really spoke to me. Because while wiping the lower shelves, I constantly worked my way up to each shelf, and each shelf that was just God just saying, okay, I'm trusting you to this level. I'm trusting you to this level. I'm trusting you to this level. And from that opportunity, I went from just wiping shelves to overseeing 5 different teams at 5 different Walmarts, which led me to the persons that were over to the community grants, which now has led to a partnership with Walmart, because you just never know who's really watching your work ethics. Your work ethic is really, really important, regardless if you're wiping the shelves or if you are supervising a team. All of those aspects are truly important, because you never know who's really watching you. And from that, I have created a lot of great relationships within the 5 different Walmarts that I was affiliated with, as well as even outside personal relationships. And Walmart has been a big supporter of networking nights, and shout out to Walmart. I'm super excited. I just spoke at in Gainesville to a team of their leadership, and it was an amazing experience. And just who would have thought that from wiping shelves, it would lead me to an opportunity to speak to their leadership team.
Yeah, no, that's real shit though. And feel free to, if you want to cuss on here, you can cuss. You can do. We're drinking, and we're having a conversation, and our audience already knows we're several episodes in. We're more than several. Like we out here. So, so let's talk about. We talked about your odd jobs and how symbolic and important they were infrastructure-wise. Just talking about what led you to the blessing with Walmart, getting those partnerships, how important it is to network. And you have an organization called Networking Nights. So for the people that's out here as an entrepreneur, trying to find a way to connect with people, how important is networking for being an entrepreneur? How important is that to make connections and grow and prosper and see the level up, if I were to put it in those terms? How important are those moments?
Networking is very important, but you have to be very strategic in how you do it.
Absolutely.
When you're in the room, it's not about working everyone in the room. It's about being intentional and strategic on finding that one person that can add value to you and also bring a solution to your problem.
Right.
And so anytime that we're hosting an event, I always encourage everyone to find that one person to connect with. And then another thing that's very important is your follow through. A lot of times we don't have great follow through, but being able to create a relationship of value, you have to be committed to follow through. And follow through leads you into a lot of different other segments, and people get to really see that you are committed to the entrepreneur journey or to whatever your personal journey may be. They see that because of your follow through. Right. And that's one of the things that I really do value is that, being able to be in certain rooms and being able to understand the importance of follow through, it has really made a difference in my life. And just, again, the things that we manifest and that we speak over our lives and the energy that we bring around us is very important. You have to be aware of these things because the universe does answer to whatever you summons. Whether you think it outwardly or inwardly, the universe, it summons that you're thinking. And so, for example, I kept speaking. I know that I would speak. I know that I would be in the presence of Oprah. I know that I would be in presence of Oprah. Not knowing or patiently waiting for the opportunity, it allowed me the moment for that to happen. Even with Bishop Jakes, just keep saying, I know I'm going to speak with Bishop Jakes. I know I'm going to be in his presence. It allowed for that to happen. But when you have those moments, you have to be ready because those moments come at odd times that you may not be prepared, but you have to be prepared because you never know when that opportunity will present itself again. And just being able to be present, first of all, creating the relationship with Emmett Smith, with his wife. From there, it allowed me to create a relationship with Oprah's makeup artist, which is Derek Rutledge. From there, it allowed me the opportunity to be able to be in Oprah's presence. And who would have ever thought that 6 months that I spoke that into existence, that would actually happen.
Right.
And just being in the moment of greatness, just being able to take advantage of those opportunities, it really did allow me to be more in tune of the energies that I vibrate out and the energies that I receive in. And just valuing relationships. Again, the follow through and the follow up is very important in any relationship that you create. And just being able to communicate, be authentically yourself, organically yourself. People become aware of that and they appreciate that for who you really, truly, genuinely are.
Yes. And so I receive all of that. And let's switch it up just a little bit. We're going to talk about what Issiah likes to do on his downtime, his pastime. You know, as entrepreneur.
I'm ready to say, because y'all been mad serious.
No, that's the thing. When me and Zay first met, I call Issiah Zay for short. When we first met, we talked like we just met each other at the Applebee's off of 20, right? And we just started talking about like our vision and our frustrations as an entrepreneur and all that stuff. Like literally, it just took off its own more serious tangent. But like over time, like we learned to like understand like the more personal side of each other. Like both me and Issiah, we're both like big ass kids. Like he has a big bobble ass head, but like he's like the biggest ass kid.
Right.
But he's the big.
Insult you like that.
It's true. It is what it is.
Shout out to bobbleheads. So anyway,
Bruh.
so like no, like what I enjoy about interacting with Zay is like my Zen person, right? So like Zay has like this. He creates this feng shui. Like every time I invite him to my gatherings, my kickbacks, whatever the case is, like when the people know that Zay coming through, they know they about to chill. And I ain't gotta get into all the details of what that means, but that just means that y'all about to chill like a motherfucker.
Absolutely.
What you been the last couple?
Zay been working his ass off. And Zay just been busy, and and Zay already know when I disappear and he'll hear from me. He's Jamie good. I'm here if you need me, and vice versa. So, let's talk about. We were talking about on the tangent of the people that you spoke into existence, right? You know, Bishop T.D. Jakes, Oprah's makeup assistant,
Her herself.
Oh, you met Oprah?
Absolutely.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
My bad.
Get it right.
Get it right. Dr. Issiah Thomas. Let's talk about the things that Issiah likes to do for fun. What does Zay do when he rarely has a chill day? Because Lord knows, I already know how it is. When you actually have some downtime, like what does Zay like to do?
What a chill day looks like for Zay is just really like centering myself, just energizing all of my vibrations, resetting my chakras, because again, being a people person, it takes a lot from you,
absolutely,
away from you. And so you just have to reset yourself and recenter yourself. The gym is another thing that is an outlet for me, because it allows me to not only physically maintain the temple, but mentally maintain the temple by way of meditation and just giving homage back to the presence, the universe, God, whatever you believe in. That's what that moment is for. It doesn't take a lot for me, because I realize that just being everywhere is not where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
But just being centered in the moment is what matters most, because again, it resets you, it refocuses you, and and you find your energy there. It re-energizes you. So that's pretty much what a day. And I would go out and cut a yard. Cutting grass is cool with me.
Again, that's what he would do on his day off. And sometimes I gotta pull Zay out his own head.
Yeah,
and I'm like, Zay, what are you doing? I'm about to walk 20 miles to the gym. But for what? I thought you was chilling today. I am chilling. I'm about to go chill at the gym. But you walking 20 miles. That doesn't make any sense. So I'll be like, yeah, no. So I'm having something, you should come to it. He's like, all right, cool, bitch. Just let me know what time is happening, He be talking real smooth. And Zay, for the people that don't know, and most people don't know this, how old are you?
I am 45. Blessings to the Creator. February 4th, I turned 45. I know I didn't have a big elaborate party, but because of how everything happened last year, leaving your place,
What happened?
leaving your place, speaking into your people. The following morning, I didn't know that everything that I spoken to everyone else will be what I was speaking to myself when I lost my vehicle in the 6th car.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah, and so
That was a year ago?
That was a year ago, bro. That was a year ago.
It seemed like it was yesterday.
Absolutely. So just in that moment, I'm really grateful for life. Everyone can't say that. And I also have experience with working in the funeral home. And so it just makes me that much more grateful for being able to breathe, for God to say, I trust you one more day to breathe life into you. What are you going to do with this day?
Not only life into yourself, but like the life you breathe into other people.
Into other people, because if I'm a gallon and you are paint, there's nothing that I can pour into you that you will receive because you are paint.
Say that one more time for the people in the back. Say that one more time.
If I'm a gallon and you are paint, there's nothing that I can pour into you. You have to level up to be a gallon to where you're able to receive everything that I'm pouring into you. And so,
but sometimes that particular vessel, even though it has met its capacity, it says your cup runneth over.
That's the thing. It runneth over. It runneth over. Right. But at the same time, do you want it to run it over, or do you want it to be filled?
But if it's filled, it is running over.
If it's filled, it's filled. If it's running over, it's now exceeded its capacity.
Right, but that means that it is going back and it is flowing into something else.
That's only if it's very intentional and strategic. But if it's not flowing in an intentional way or a strategic way, it's just wasted. And so if it's going to flow, make sure that it is flowing into a capacity that can receive it. And so again, being a gallon pouring into a pan, pouring into a core, they have to be able to have room to receive it to where now their overflow is flowing into something different. Okay. So if you're receiving but you are not pouring, what good are you? Because you're keeping everything that you have capacity for. So with that you don't have capacity for, how are you building the next capacity of a quart, of an ounce, And so that's why, it's very important to surround yourself with people that can take on your capacity or that has the capacity to receive the overflow. Right. And what do they do with the overflow that has flown over to you, that has flown over to them?
Couldn't you view that as a fountain?
You can view it as a fountain, but what does a fountain constantly do? It's just running. It's just running. Do we just want it to run, or do we want it to run with impact?
So, and Zay, you already know, and that was one of the things we bonded over, was my philosophy, my creed is paying it forward, right? And so that fits into what you just said about, runneth over, right? And having the buckets in place to, just like, like something is like you have a waterfall, right? And a leaking ceiling, just to make it even more specific. And then you put a bucket there, right? And then that bucket starts to get full, and you start getting little other sub buckets around it because it's starting to overflow. And these other sub buckets, you are the main bucket. Absolutely. And then you have your friends, the people that you fuck with, they are the sub buckets, and now the overflow is spilling into them, and now they're receiving it.
Absolutely.
Right? And then what they just choose to do with it, they can, like you were saying, hold it to themselves, keep all the blessings to themselves, or they can continue to pay it forward.
Absolutely.
All day. And so I think that's why me and you connect the way we do, because we have that same mindset of we can just impact another person. And that person can impact another person. And it could just be that one person, but like if it continues to be a cycle, it literally makes a difference in impact in the community.
Because we're only held accountable for the one. We're only held accountable for the one.
Right.
As long as we hold ourselves accountable for the one, that one is now held accountable for the next one. And so our legacy is created through the one. As long as they're also tapping into the capacity of the other person or planting the seed of greatness into the other person.
Right.
You know, that's how we create legacy, is just constantly being intentional and strategic in how we receive the overflow or distribute the overflow.
Right.
And that's how I feel as if me individually have been blessed, as well as the organization have been blessed, is because we have not kept any of the opportunities to ourselves. Even when we did the toy giveaway, I was like, Jay, can you just show up?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We just want to be a blessing to the community in South Dallas and Martin Luther King Academy. Can you just show up? Because it's already in place, but just show up.
Right.
You know, so there it is, another example of, you know, whether they did the work, the legwork or not to get the reward, just be there for the labor.
Right.
Just be there for the labor, because again, it's not about us. It's always about the next.
Right.
And when we accept that and take that into accountability, it always opens more doors, because again, God say, I can trust you.
Right.
And oftentimes we are held in a holding pattern because he can't trust us to unload the luggage, to unload the baggage, because we want to hold it all for ourselves. Even if we are overweight, we want to say, hold on, let me see what I can move around to see if I can still take it, versus allowing something to be left behind for someone else.
Right. Okay. Yeah, no, all received. So social media. Let's talk about social media for a second, because I know that you're not on social media as much. You don't do a lot of your evangelism through social media, if I were to say that. But you use it as an outlet to reach other people, and we were talking about paying it forward and all those things. And so, as an individual entrepreneur, how important have you found that you can reach different people? How much value do you put on social media or other outlets that allow you to reach masses digitally? How much value do you put on those versus the traditional way? Or is there value to you on that side? Do you prefer the more traditional route when it comes to entrepreneurship, networking, nice, nonprofit? Like, which route do you prefer?
I'm in between, because again, I'm not as social media savvy, but because people see the energy, they see the vibe, they recognize the authenticity.
Oh yes, let the liquor use you.
Authenticity.
Let the liquor use you.
The genuine of the person.
Get into your bag.
And so, you know, it has really created a network of people who really value what they see.
Right.
I just don't want numbers. I really want people to engage with me that really understands what it means to have humanity, what it means to have empathy, what it means to have servant leadership, what it means to be able to just be at peace. Because a lot of times, you know, I get a lot of inboxes saying, oh, you can't be that happy all the time, or it's just fake, or it's just this, or why can't I be happy this way all the time? Why can't I have found my peace or my center? And so because of that, it draws the right attention to where you are supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't have a 10K following, but at the same time, I appreciate the 1K following that I have, because I know that they are genuine and authentic people that see the vibe, the energy, and the universe at work.
Yeah.
Can
So
appreciate you.
And can appreciate the
quality.
authenticity of who I am as an individual.
you know, it's so funny. Like the years I've known Isaiah, he's really articulate and is really good with his vernacular. And I've never heard him stumble over that word until today.
Show him that juice.
It's that blue juice.
It's that blue juice. I love it. I love it. I love
it's
it.
that blue juice.
No,
but, I'm
I-
grateful.
I always enjoy seeing Isaiah with none of his hair, let his hair down in front of
His hair.
Let's give it Mr. Clean.
That's
So
it's still there, y'all. It's still there.
Is it?
I have appreciated just being able to just zip and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? This happened with Katrina. You know, I tested it
about
out.
Hurricane
Katrina.
Oh,
this
God.
happened when
Back in 2006?
back in 2006.
It's like
I
we
was
in 2023.
in San Antonio.
Oh, no.
Doing what? Service leadership. They were bringing in a bus of Louisiana residents to the Kelly base in San Antonio. We were there. Me and my friend was there on vacation. And when we saw that, we was just like, what can we do to give back? Because we tried to volunteer at the K. Bailey Hutchinson here in Dallas, but it was so much red tape that you had to go through. So we ended up going to San Antonio. And at that moment, it was just like, say, you should try to just see what your hair would look like bald.
Wait, that's how it happened?
That's how it happened.
Oh my gosh.
That's how it happened.
Wait, do you have I'm asking for a friend that's a friend. Do you have pictures of like when you had hair?
I do.
Okay, I need
And
to
I
see.
have a hell of a grade of a hair. I was in school. I was very particular in college who would touch my hair and I feel like that's why God allowed it to thin out because I worship my hair because I have a really nice grade of hair. I look at my baby sister and I look at my middle sister and I just look at their hair and I was just like, damn, I wish I would still. But it will grow out. You know what I'm saying? And
I've never seen it grow out.
It will grow
I've
because
never.
I keep it close cut. So, that was a moment that I decided, doing Katrina to just shave it off, and I've been bald since.
Real clean cut.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
the Afro-American version of Mr. Clean. Like I'm telling you.
And then working for the airlines, it just makes you very much more aware of your presence,
Yes.
your appearance, and just being very clean cut because you are the brand of yourself. You are the brand of the organization. You are the brand of your personal organization. So I really pride myself on great hygiene and just being able to be to show up and be accounted for.
Be ambassador of your
Absolutely.
own goddamn self.
Absolutely.
I'm here for that. So you mentioned, and before we wrap up, I want to talk about family real quick because we have not really talked about your family and how many great individuals, lineage, how many of you guys are there is, and how important family is to you, and how it
There
impacts
are
you.
plenty of siblings that I have, and one of the things that I'm grateful for, I did not have a close relationship with my father and mother growing up because I left home at 16, and just being able to navigate my way since that time has been an adventure. But at the same time, just understanding that what I was missing in my life was my father confirming my manhood, because if the father is not available in the 4 stages of the male's life as they transition through life, then they will never know their purpose.
What is the 4 stages, real quick? Do you know?
First of all, like, you're being at birth.
Okay.
Just confirming you at birth. Then your toddler stage, adolescent, and your teen years. And if the father is absent in any parts of those in the male's life, they will never know their purpose. And even though I grew up with both of my parents together, my father never sealed my manhood, and it always left a void. And when I realized that, and coming into understanding of that, I really have a great appreciation and a greater love for my father, because I had to learn how to forgive myself, how to forgive him, and how to forgive us. In doing so, it has just cultivated an amazing relationship, because now I'm able to say to my father before we end the phone call, hey, Dad, I love you. Hey, Dad, I was just calling just to say I love you, regardless if we have a conversation or not. But just being able to have that moment has meant so much to me. And here recently in my Valley days, for my parents that just have shown up in my 44, 45 years of age, it has just been so amazing, and it has been so much to me for my parents just to like be supportive of what I'm doing, and a selfish reason for them and not necessarily for me. And just being in that space, it has just really given me a great appreciation for valuing my parents.
Yeah, and so that's a great answer. Definitely hit all the nuggets on that one. But I have another question for you.
What's that? Give it.
So we talked about your entrepreneurship. We talked about your values, essentially, right? How important it is to pay it forward. Health, right? Mm-hmm. And so we talked about your family and all those things. So how important is it to reset?
It is very important to reset simply because your body needs it. Just this past Saturday, I had a cancer scare, so I was just in an immediate outpatient emergency surgery. Yes.
What?
This past Saturday. Yeah. So just being able to just really understanding and being in tune with your own body is very important. Taking care of your health, getting any checkups that you need is very important, especially as a Black male over the age of 35. It is very important for you to just be very in tune with your body. Reset is very important because it allows your body the opportunity just to reset itself, and for you to just kind of allow any negative energy or any negative vibes to just leave you. Mm-hmm. So I'm really grateful to be here. I've been diagnosed since 98 with colitis, which has not developed into cancer. I had a cancer scare this past weekend. So the results came back. It was just, a cluster of polyps. So I'm just grateful. I'm just really grateful for every minute that God trusts me with life.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I felt that energy over here. I did not know. My bad. But yeah, we're going to clap to that. We over here still living and shit. That's good. With your bald ass. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, so I have one more question, and then we're going to tell the people. I'm going to ask you rather, tell you to tell the people how to follow you.
All right.
If you were to speak to people that are trying to get into entrepreneurship, because you are a mentor of sorts, I've seen you do it in the classrooms with the young individuals.
Absolutely.
And how you inspire them. What level of advice would you give someone that is trying to find their way in the world? They feel lost, they feel discouraged, they feel like life is just so heavy and they don't want to keep going. What would you tell them?
The spirit of gratitude. Just being able to just be grateful for where you are is what God really honors. And then at the same time, just patiently waiting your turn. Mm-hmm. Is the second thing that he honors, as well as you honoring yourself. Just being in the cut, just being like, okay, God, I'm here. I'm patiently waiting. But the thing is, can he trust you to take you to the next level?
Right.
If he cannot trust you with the least of these, what makes him trust you to take you to the most of everything?
Right.
So it's all about being able to balance and to show the spirit of gratitude and humility for where you are, and to learn the lesson for where you are to take you to the next space.
Absolutely. That's rich. That's real. That's a nugget. It fell on the tongue.
Because you're not going. You're not. I don't care how hard you work. If he cannot trust you, the universe cannot trust you, you're not going.
Right.
You're just going to continue to spin your wheels. But the thing is, when the universe or when God or whatever you believe in can trust you with the least that you have, then that's when you will be able to elevate to the next stage.
Yes, Dr. Issiah Thomas.
Because you learned the lesson.
Dr. Issiah Thomas, yeah. Y'all make some noise. And so let them know That's your camera over there, so look over there. Let them know. Y'all, he spilled some on this damn shirt. His drunk ass spilled some on this.
You just had
It was a hole in it. It was a hole in the cup.
You had to point it out.
It was
Yes.
a hole in the
I mean, to
cup.
the whole interview.
It was a hole in his damn mouth.
It was a hole in the
I
cup.
was gonna wait till we cut. Though.
So the
It's down here.
people that are listening to the audio, y'all gotta watch the visuals. That's gonna be on posted. That he got a whole stain that's from his shirt. It's not a
They
stain.
can't
It's
see
just
that.
water.
They can't see
It's just liquid. It's fine. How can they follow you
On social media, if you're interested in following Networking Nights, in which I encourage you to engage and to connect with us, Networking Nights on Facebook as well as Instagram, and that's Networking Nights with a K. Also, my personal is I am Sir Zay _ on Instagram, as well as Zay Thomas on Facebook. LinkedIn, Issiah Thomas Jr. So on the professional platform, you can find me there. I'm excited, looking forward to meeting you guys, as well as we're looking for volunteers, we're looking for board members, and we're just looking for someone who's willing to make an impact and an investment into our future, which is our youth. And that's what we have openings for, and that's what we have availability for. If you're willing to make an impact and an investment into our future. Meet us in South Dallas every Wednesday at Fraser Revitalization at 5 to 6 p.m.
Okay, y'all make some noise for Dr. Issiah Thomas. Thomas, thank you for coming on here. The liquor is affecting me as well. Water is in my future. Cheers to you and our relationship and to many more years. Absolutely. And we're done.